Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of the official Board Wars podcast. I am, of course, joined by my co-host, the one and only JD. How's it going, JD?
Yes, I'm doing great. I was excited for do that first episode. I think it went great. I hope the community loved it, and I'm ready to get back into it and talk about some new and some fun things with you.
I'm ready to get back into it too, and unfortunately, we're kind of meeting on sour terms. Isn't that right, JD? I mean, you kind of predicted yourself last week that you were going to get first, and
Did
got
not
last.
get first. Yeah. Yeah. Let's not sugarcoat it.
So we can just start with our weekly recap, but as somebody who is going through the game, why don't you start by giving us your perspective of how it went?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, great game. It was just a fun game to be part of. Honestly, probably the hardest game of my career. And that's just out of respect to the amazing players. And I don't even know where to start. I mean, obviously, it was very even coming into it. The diplomacy was kind of whoever came in, whoever kind of take charge. I think right away I looked scary off the bat. I think it was a combination of my tiles, my cards, and also just my previous track record. So I think quickly I was 2v1, 3v1 maybe, and I just think I wasn't able to get on top of it. And then you saw multiple teams. You saw Mr. Java. You saw him starting to build up. Take control of the diplomacy. You compared him to Drew, and I'd actually said the same thing. And Max was next to me. I said like a minute before you said, I was like Max, John, he's playing just like Drew right now. Like it sounds the same. And then you said it, so that was cool to hear. Accio Dub played a great game. He was toe to toe with these great players. And then obviously Enigma, he was down at the end of it, and I didn't think he was gonna come back. He went down there, revived those guys, and kind of took that game away, and I kind of solidified himself as one of the best players in the league right now.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was an interesting game. I think I'll just kind of go through the list. I'm obviously going to be a lot more of a critical third person.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Mr. Java, we were talking about the podcast, and he was like, yeah, you guys don't believe in me, that's fine. And I'm just going to say it. If you're listening to this podcast, you consent to hear whatever I really think. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. I'm going to call it exactly how I see it. And I think if you're a good player, you're going to want to hear these things. So let's start with Mr. Java. I thought he played a lot like Drew. A lot like Drew did in his last game.
Yeah.
Drew didn't win his last game. And I think I was talking to Drew after the game, and he kind of regrets some of his approaches. And he definitely felt like he was rusty. He definitely felt like there were things he left on the board. And I feel the same way about how Mr. Java played. I think that loss was the most inspiring Mr. Java loss I've ever seen, because there was a semblance of, and I think we felt the same thing with the Drew game. Wow, there's a lot here that you're doing that I could see you putting together at some point in a cool way, and really, being an exciting player. And I could see this kind of player winning a game if they just tuned some things up. But, in the same way that Drew lost, Mr. Java lost. And, I think the way that they were so vocal about what the good things are, what the bad things are, is beneficial. But I think Drew said this after his game. He really wished he would have done that in a more strategic way. And I felt the same way with Mr. Java. Like, the way he was kind of getting into everybody's business on the turns and talking and really trying to, like, make himself a vocal presence on the board was good, but it wasn't done in a way that actually benefited him, I felt. Mr. Java, I feel like the purpose of politics usually is to position yourself in a spot where there's an issue and someone else is handling that issue for you. But it felt like, to me, Mr. Java was positioning himself in a way to where he was the face of the JD resistance.
Yeah, that's what it felt
Because
like.
there was like a 3v1 against JD at one point, masterfully crafted by Mr. Java.
Yeah, it was.
But he didn't do it in a way that actually put him on top. He more so did it in a way that kind of, I don't want to say a bad word, so darn you to darn nation.
Yeah.
And it didn't really boost his odds, I didn't feel, in any way, other than, of course, you not getting a chance at winning. So, I don't know. I thought there were a lot of tools there. And we can say this all we want about Mr. Java. He's 0-6. I think everyone believes Mr. Java's a good player.
Yeah.
But he's not strung it together in a win yet. And I think until he does actually put those pieces together and result in a victory, it's hard for us to really say, oh, he'll get him next time. Because I feel like we've been saying that for 2 years now. I think what Mr. Java really needs to do, I think he's on a perfect trajectory. I think if Mr. Java can manage the games better, which might come, like from a third party. Like having somebody next to you to help you manage that game is really helpful. We've talked about all the time how Mr. Java doesn't really have that. But if he was able to manage the game better, and I think my main gripe with Mr. Java is also his end games. His end games are not well managed. And I will say, perfect segue transition to Enigma's game. Enigma did a genius thing where he had the opportunity to get a revive with the most dangerous player in an end game, which is Magneto, because he can move people around, especially in Spawn 4.
Yeah, insane.
Dangerous. And he waited to get that revive. He could have had the Hades Town revive the same turn Mr. Java did.
Yeah.
And instead he waited till the perfect moment. Because what happened was Mr. Java jumped on that revive. Kane the King was out in the open, and then Akioda was like, okay, now I've got to kill Kane the King.
Yeah.
And now I've got to kill Mr. Java. And I feel like if Enigma did it at the same time, something similar would have happened to Magneto. But no, he waited till his perfect moment. So I love Mr. Java, just to end my opinions on how he played, and I love the way he plays. And I'm excited for the day when he strings it all together and we see that aha moment.
Mm-hmm.
But hasn't happened yet. We trust it might. And Enigma is one of the best players I've ever seen.
I agree.
I've never seen a player have two convincing wins in the same season through polar opposite means. Because Enigma had the most offensive game of all time in his previous win. He won by shattering the kill record, shattering the damage record. And then in his second game of the season, he plays one of the best, most convincing defensive wins I think we've seen all season. So for a player to play so well offensively and defensively back-to-back games and win both of them in the same year, it was just unreal to watch. Like that guy's potential and his ability to switch play styles, his ability to... He's almost perfect at looking at the board and saying, okay, I think he's the opposite of Mr. Java in this way. Mr. Java will sometimes do the perfect on-paper decision, but in the game, in that scenario, it just wasn't best for that scenario.
Mm.
Whereas Enigma, he doesn't always make the most on-paper perfect play, but he always does what is right for this moment. And he's not the most efficient player. I think you and Mr. Java had way better first few turns than Enigma does in terms of efficiency. He's not the most intelligent. He doesn't know everything. He's just amazing at feeling the board and knowing where to put his slithery raptor head into. He just knows how to do that. And I don't know if that's something you really teach. I think that's just something he has. And you can say, oh, he's got Straw and Caden next to him. But we've seen Straw and Caden be next to a lot of people. We've seen and people say the same thing about Alex Bruns. Oh, Luke and Caleb are next to him. Luke and Caleb are next to a lot of players, and they don't have the same kind of record. And I think this is a great comparison, JD, because now Enigma is 3-2 in his career, and Alex Bruns is 3-2 in his career.
Wow.
Same record all time. So Enigma is on trajectory to be one of this league's greats, and I've talked a lot, and I want to hear what you think about what I said about Enigma.
No, yeah. I mean, I agree with both what you said about Mistrava and Enigma. I think the big difference is that patience and the timing, not just like for what you said, like the play on paper, but the right play in that situation. I think Enigma has done that both his games, and he did that for this game, which was crazy to watch. I agree. I think he's one of the rising stars. I think he has like some of the potential to be one of the best. Honestly, he just showed he has both. He has both sides. He has that offensive and defensive at the best scale. Not like, oh, it's a good offensive, but the best offensive game, and then also one of the best defensive game, one of the best apocalypse games. So he already proved he has both those things with him. I mean, he has with his team. It's just it's amazing to see. I think I was telling Max this game kind of made me rethink almost that top 5, top 10, where the gap that was there. I feel like at least last season that, I played in the playoffs. I played a lot of the best players. But those games compared to this game, the talent was probably this game was even better. Like, I think the gap between the best players, between Luke and Slushy and Drew, I think it's so much closer this season than people realize. I think people coming to the league are catching up so fast. Like the margin is so much smaller than I think people realize that these guys, Enigma, stuff like that, they have the chance to rise up those rankings real quick. And it's just fun to watch.
It is fun to watch, and I think Enigma is kind of the face of that new generation of guys. You could say him, you could say Python, Piano Man, but there really is a rising star archetype in this league. Mm-hmm. And I gotta say, I got a victory lap.
Yeah,
I
said
Enigma was gonna win.
You called it,
and he did, moving on to, I think, Akiodub's game. I thought Akiodub played really well. There was a moment where, because Enigma revived using Hades Town, he could have gotten the other side of that coin flip, and Magneto wouldn't have revived. And if that happens, Akiodub wins.
Yeah.
There was a moment where Akiodub blundered a Death Star, which had the opportunity after Magneto revived to Death Star him. And there were multiple times that game where I was like, Akiodub, you're over time. You got to come back. Like, be on top of it. And I gave him progressively less and less time as the game went along to do it. I think his first turn, he was over by like 20 seconds on the actual play. Man. And I was like, all right, come on. Like, so I shortened it. And especially in the apocalypse, like one little slip can cost you. He blundered that Death Star. Any of those happen, I think he wins. I really do. And it didn't. So Akio played incredible in a divisional game against legendary competition. Yeah. And it's like, man, sure, he didn't win, but this is kind of the best you could have gotten from an Akiodub game, I feel. So Gideon was very close to being right on his Akiodub prediction.
He was close. I thought he was going to be right.
Yeah. And now that the Cuties haven't won that game, their path to the playoffs is actually very difficult. And I'm very interested to see how this final act goes for the Moon Division, because, the Raptors, they're on top, man. They really are.
That top spot.
It's hard to triumph over teams that are on top, and unless they win the last divisional game, you're going to need 2 wins to hop the Raptors.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. I really feel like a playoff team is going to come down to the final game of the season, but we'll see. And I think that takes me to your performance, JD.
Yeah. Let's hear it,
guys. On one hand, I was very impressed because you were kind of in a 3v1 situation for most of the game. And I think someone who had more political savviness could have gotten you out of that situation. I don't think you needed to be in that situation. I think the fact that you were in that situation is maybe a testament to how you play and not really trying to get out of things politically, more of a strategic mastermind. But this is kind of what I was thinking. I was like, he's getting 3v1 right now. He's not finding any political tools to get out of it. He's playing well, but I also feel like he left a lot on the board. Like, there was some times where you had like the really cool combination of the surfboard with Doctor Strange, with Echo, who you were getting Death Stars off of. And I was like, man, if JD went over into Mr. Java's spawn and opened a portal with Doctor Strange from this character to this character, he has 10 speed with the surfboard, goes in, duplicates, makes a portal, gets out, Death Stars him, and then plays defense with those challenge cards as you did to get a second one next turn. And then he keeps making portals and getting, like, I really thought there was a snowball potential there that was kind of missed. I think there were a lot of times in that game where you were being 3v1'd. In that moment, I think the best thing to do is to play offense. And you had offense potential. There were a lot of turns where it was like, oh, I've got Doctor Strange. I can make a portal to anywhere, upgrade my entire team's dice tier, and just jump one of these top guys and probably kill them. Like I was thinking that with Magneto a few times. I was thinking that with Bowser actually first a few times, getting that firepower out of the way. And just, we saw a lot of defensive play. We saw a lot of, oh, I'm going to go back to Biles and really maximize my resources trying to get items. And that was good. But I think when you're in that 3v1 situation, you really got to turn an offense to an offensive perspective. And I just think that was lacking in that way. And one thing I think is interesting, because I'm looking at your departure from the Mama Llamas in a whole new way. Because the Mama Llamas are missing JD right now as like a coach, captain. But I also felt like in that game, JD as a player was really missing John Mark.
I agree.
You know, and I was like, wow, like, even though the Astro Bears are having success, JD as a player is having less. And it's like, it's kind of interesting. It makes me appreciate, I think, the relationship that you had with the Llamas last season even more. So I don't know. What do you think about all that I said?
No, yeah, I think I pretty much agree with you. You know, 3v1, it was in position. I was trying to play, my thought process was I was going to play more defensive, and as I kind of got toned down a little bit, that focus get kind of pushed away from me. I didn't think I was going to be able to 3v1 all teams, because I went in and I took out Bowser, kind of just limited him a little bit, but I'm like, if I jump in totally, then I'm going to get jumped by the other two teams. So I didn't want to spread myself out too much, which is kind of why I stayed back. But I mean, like you said, it ended up not working. I still stayed on me. I couldn't get that off me. So I think you're right about the plays. And I also agree with you. I mean, I say it all the time. John Mark, he's the play mastermind. I mean, he's always great at making those big plays. And I think I'm a little better at the timing and the patience. And I think with that combination was why we saw such a great season 2 from us. And, you know, and I'm be honest. I mean, that is something that I try to work on, because I know that was that I lost that when I'm leaving the Llamas. I think I improved greatly over the off season, but I mean, as you can tell, it's still not exactly the same. I think you can see that with other players. They don't have that guy next to them. But yeah, I mean, I think it was in my opinion, I think it was a very interesting position to be put in. I think it's very difficult for anyone to win a type of game when you're a 3v1. I don't see really many people winning that type of game. But obviously, true. I mean, I made mistakes. I didn't make Doctor Strange invincible at the end. Mr. Java jumped on me. I didn't think he was going to be able to get all the way over there. That was a big blunder that kind of took me out of the game officially. And I'm sure there was a lot of other plays in between where I could have limited other people's powers from jumping over to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think even the idea that you as a player, we kind of almost expect to have a chance in these 3v1 situations, I think is a testament to how good last season was for you.
Yeah.
But man, someone's gonna make like a good old days TikTok edit of you and the llamas. I swear, like Prime JD and John Mark, that combo. What a time. So
Good old days.
we've seen some crazy developments in like the top 15 all-time conversation
Yeah.
the last few weeks. And because the podcast is so new, we've never had like a recorded top 15 consensus media list.
I know.
So we might be able to start one today.
Excited.
From what we've talked about, JD, the top of the list is actually easier than the bottom.
Yeah, definitely.
So I kind of recommend maybe we start from the top and just kind of talk our way down this list.
Okay.
So I guess we'll kind of go back and forth like we did last week with the playoff positions.
Yeah.
But who would you put at number one? I wonder.
Man, I wonder who I put the number one spot. I think I have to go with the GOAT, Dr. Luke.
Shocking.
Shocking. All those wins, all those playoff wins, the Legacy Cup. I don't think anybody can argue that Dr. Luke is the best player in Board Wars at the moment.
Yeah. No, I think it's really hard to. I mean, with a record of 7-5, and I gotta say, like one day, maybe write this in your notes. Maybe we'll do like a best stretches from a team or from a player. The Ruby Raptors, now that they're 4-2 in their last 6.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Insane.
Maybe on that list. But Dr. Luke, I think I wrote it down in one of my games where I was introducing him as like a player. He had like a 6-1 run, I believe.
Insane.
Yeah, 6-1 in his last 7 games up until this last game that he lost. That's crazy. He's 7-5 in his career. Another thing that I think is really impressive is he's 2-2 in the playoffs. Never won MVP because he can't really.
Yeah.
But he's kind of achieved the most that he could in those 2 years as a captain. Captain of the Year season 1, Offensive Player of the Year in season 2. So, ridiculous stuff from Dr. Luke. Like you said, and I think the guy who's right behind him for me is Slushy. At this point in Board Wars, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players with 4 wins. So it's crazy. We've got Dr. Luke up here, and then 5 people 3 games behind him. But the top player on that of those players on my list is Slushy. Really because of his accolades. Winning Defensive Player of the Year and then offensive and then Defensive Player of the Year. Absolutely ridiculous. We've talked about with Enigmas in his game how rare it is to be a two-way player. Slushy demonstrating that is really awe-inspiring. 4-6 record. His APF is 2, which I really appreciate. That was actually since last season. That might have actually tanked a little bit this year. That might not be totally updated.
He's gotten second place twice.
Really?
Yeah.
So it probably still is 2 then. Wow. And he's 2-0 in the playoffs. Wow. Like he rises to the occasion. He won both playoff games to win the cup for the Salamanders in season 2. I think he's got to be 2. Who do you have at number 2?
Yeah, Gus, I mean, you said it, but I have the Legend Killer, Slushy at 2. His resume, I don't think you can argue with it. I mean, you could talk about the offensive, defensive. I think the big one is the 2-0 in the playoffs, winning a Legacy Cup. There's only 2 teams that's won the Legacy Cup, and he carried a team to get that. Obviously, everyone helped, but he was the one to get those 2 wins. And he's one of the most decorated players out there. And he's one of the best players now. Unfortunately, he hasn't got the win this year, but 2 second place, very kind of crazy end games where it's like he had just a chance to win as the other player. So I don't think those kind of hinder his career that much, especially coming off such a great season. So yeah, I have Slushy at the 2 spot just as you. But at the 3 spot, I have
More contentious.
yeah, maybe we'll see if it's different. I think it'll be the same, but I have Drew. You know, he has the four career wins. He's established himself since season 1 as one of the best players. I think originally we had him at maybe coming into season 1 we had him at the 2 spot, maybe the 1 spot, right with Luke. Luke, I know he kind of just took that away. Yet he has so many wins, you can't argue with it. Drew does have a lot less career games he's played, so it's a lot less sample size. So it's a little bit interesting. But you know, he has the playoff win. All his games are just kind of masterclass. If you go watch the film, you can see the difference from his wins compared to his competition. You can just see he's kind of just a step ahead as everyone else. And then this game, I think he also got last place. But I mean, you could say he was a little rusty. He hadn't played in a while. It was a high competition game. So yeah, I still have him at the 3 spot. I think he's one of the best masterminds of the game.
No, I completely agree. My 3 spot is also Drew. And I think he's a very exciting player to watch. And it's actually crazy to me how our second and third best players of all time haven't won yet in season 3.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that I think is interesting with Drew and Slushy being so close is they're the same rating right now. They're both, I think, an 88, 87.
Really?
Yeah, same record or same rating. It's just funny to me. Like, even when these guys don't win games, they're still at the top of the rating leaderboards.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing how good they are and how able they are to like replicate success. Drew is 1-1 in the playoffs, which is really exciting. He has a 1.7 career APF. That's ridiculous.
That is.
He's just an exciting player, not an offensive player, a defensive player that is still exciting, which is kind of a rare combination.
Yeah.
My 4th of all time, now this might be where it starts to get a little interesting, is the MVP Alex Bruns. My 4th is MVP Alex Bruns. He's 3-2 in his career, so he doesn't have 4 wins, but he has a winning record, which you can't say about any player who has 4 wins right now. Mm-hmm. He's 3-2, winning record. He has won a playoff game. He's 1-1 in the playoffs. He has a 1.6 APF, which is ridiculous. He always gets first or second. And of course, he is the MVP. And a chip. So.
Insane. Yeah, I mean, his stats are insane. At my, it's a little different. My 4th spot, though, I actually have, from the same team, I have Caleb Ward.
Whoa.
I have Caleb Ward above Alex Bruns. Here's my argument, okay? Here's my argument. Caleb Ward, he proved he can do it as a player. He did in season 1, okay? Alex Bruns did kind of take the spotlight for that season 1. Won the MVP. He was 2-0. Season 2, Caleb Ward wasn't that great. Season 3, though, he steps in the captain chair and proves he's still one of the best players out there. He now has 4 wins. He's proved in the captain chair, and he's proved as in the player chair. I don't think many players have. I mean, I think the only other comparison would have been, I guess, would be me. I'm the only other player and captain for like at least a season. And you can see the difference from me. You can see kind of the drop off. Caleb Ward, no drop off at all. The guy just keeps going, and the 2 games were insane, like insane games. So I put Caleb Ward ahead of him. I kind of honor the more recent games, especially I feel like the league has progressed in his ability to win in that season 1 and then be able to improve his game and follow the trends and still come out on top on season 3 winning 2 games.
That's fair. I got to say, though, accolade-wise, it's not close. Caleb Ward's never won an award. We're comparing the MVP. You're saying right now, you've got a guy over the MVP who hasn't won an award. Not one. Not one, JD. And not only that, but Caleb Ward is 0-3 in the playoffs. 0-3? You've got an 0-3 guy? Caleb Ward has lost more games in the playoffs than Alex Bruns has lost in his career. I'm sorry, man. I think that's crazy. I think, sure, season 1, it wasn't as whatever. But Alex Bruns last year won a game too. And we haven't seen him yet this year. So I think to say Alex Bruns has fallen off, we don't know. We're not gonna know until he steps in the arena, which is soon. So I don't know, man. I think having him is a little nuts, but I respect different opinions. Caleb Ward above Alex Bruns.
I do.
I don't know.
I think he's the better player.
I'm
I mean,
interested. Yeah, I'm interested to see who you've got at number 5.
Yeah, would you like to hear it?
Yeah, I'm a little scared now. I'm worried our lists are gonna be weird.
No, number 5, I have Alex Bruns. I have him right under Caleb Ward.
Okay.
I have him right under. No, I'm not.
Okay.
It's not a disrespect to Alex Bruns. Obviously, I think he has those awards, those playoff wins. I just think personally, I think Alex Bruns plays on the same team as Caleb. I think Caleb and Luke, I think they both really helped Alex, and I think the testament to Alex, but I think it's also just testament to Caleb. I put high honors to people in captain shares, and people can train other players to be super good like that. I think it's a testament to their skills. I mean, for a captain to be able to teach someone to get that good, they also have to have those skills. And I don't know, I just feel like we've seen Caleb do at multiple levels. I mean, you can argue the awards, but I just think at the moment, until Alex Bruns hops in this season, and I see some wins in season 3, I still have Caleb Ward above him.
You have Caleb Ward a lot higher than I do.
Interesting.
As you're about to see, he's not even in my top 5.
Wow.
Love Caleb Ward. One of my favorite players, one of my favorite people, one of my favorite players to watch. But I've got, at number 5, I've got JD. Now, he's 3-7. Caleb Ward is 4-7. Caleb Ward does have a better record than JD does. But JD is 1-1 in the playoffs. And he's won an MVP. To me, it's like winning MVP has to be such a high honor. Alex Bruns and I mean, it's no question. It shows why like Alex Bruns is 4, JD's 5. MVP is such a high award, and JD has won in the playoffs. Caleb's never done that. Caleb hasn't won in the playoffs. So even though, JD doesn't have the better record than Caleb, and even though Caleb, I think, has a better kill stats and all those things, I would give JD the nod because of his award and because of his success in the postseason.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think it makes sense, and I have very similar. Because that was your 5 spot, correct?
That was my 5 spot, yeah.
Okay. Would you like to give your 6th spot?
Yeah. And you're about to see how far down Caleb Ward is on my list. My 6th spot is not Caleb Ward either. My 6th spot is former Captain of the Year Gideon. Gideon is 4-4. He has a better record than Caleb Ward. My main thing that holds me back from the full Gideon narratives is that he's never played in the playoffs. And maybe it's because he's just scared. Maybe it's because, that team is so loaded, and Goober and Slushy are just such an overwhelming duo that Gideon doesn't want to step up. But like Caleb Ward, again, he's 0-3 in the playoffs. Gideon hasn't played at all, so it can't really help him. It hurts him a little bit, but it doesn't hurt as much as an 0-3 record does.
Yeah.
At least to me. And they have the same number of wins. Caleb Ward, I think, granted, has a higher APF. Because Gideon, he either gets 1st or 4th.
Yeah.
That's kind of the Gideon way. So, same amount of wins, but again, Gideon's 4-4. Caleb's 4-7. So, I would give my 6th spot to Gideon.
Okay. Well, at my 6th spot, I have myself. I have JD. I have myself right under Alex Bruns and Caleb Ward. I think Alex Bruns, we both have that MVP. I think he's got those wins in a lot less sample size. I have a lot more losses, so I think he's been able to do just as much as I did in a less span of games. So I think he has to be above me for that reason. And then I just have Caleb Ward above me just for this season. I just put higher guards for season 3. for winning in this season. I think it's just very competitive.
fair.
But yeah, I have myself at the 6th spot. I have the MVP. I have the playoff win. I have the 3 wins. So I think I'm in that category. I think I just missed those last couple spots just because this guy's a little bit above, have those 4 wins, maybe 2 playoff wins, maybe a little less losses. But I would put myself at the 6th spot. But then at the 7th spot, what you put on the 6th spot is Captain of the Smoky Sally's Gideon.
Wow.
I do. I have him right under me. 4 wins, 4-4, insane. And like you said, I think the big thing is he just doesn't have any playoff wins or even games. And it's hard to put him in that high regard when he hasn't proven at the biggest stage that he can do it. He hasn't proved he can't do it, but he just hasn't even stepped in the ring to do it yet.
It's true.
I'm hoping he does get in the ring. So obviously, the sides they're going to make the playoffs this season. I hope he does because I have high regards for him. I hope that he goes out there and tries to prove that he's one of the better players. Win or lose, I think it's better than not getting a playoff game at all for his resume.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with that. And I think it's funny because our top 7 is the same.
It is.
Other than you've put Caleb Ward way higher than I have.
Yeah.
Because my 7 is Caleb Ward. Now, I didn't anticipate coming into this list to be the number 1 Caleb Ward hater. I didn't expect that out of this. I think this is a great spot for him. He's below the guys like Gideon and JD and Alex who have won very illustrious awards. He's, again, below the guys who have won in the playoffs. But I think in terms of like regular season success, I think in terms of just like pure greatness outside of like awards, outside, like he checks every other box. It's just, to me, the 2 things that he falls behind in are the things that really count. And it's those awards, it's those playoff wins. And now I will say Caleb Ward does have a chip, but so does most of
Alex.
this list.
Yeah.
Other than Drew and JD, everyone else above him has a chip. And Drew is, he kind of speaks for himself, and JD is a former MVP. So it's like, I don't know. So again, our top 7s are the same. It's just you've got Caleb way higher. I love Caleb. I think he's awesome, and I think 7 is a very prestigious spot to be, especially as the league is developed. Like top 10 in season 1 meant you were higher than 2/3 of the league. Top 10 now, top 7 now. I mean, that's hard to do. So this is a very illustrious list, Mr. Caleb. I love you. Number 8, I'm interested to see where you go. I had to go Goober. I had to go Goober. He's currently the MVP favorite. And I'm kind of anticipating that he's going to win this award soon. Obviously, because that hasn't happened yet, I didn't count the MVP towards this. Yeah. But I'm kind of like, he's got a foot in the door for MVP. He's 4-6 in his, record, which is better than Caleb Ward. Here's the issue. Like Caleb Ward, 0-3 in the playoffs. That's such a hard thing for me to get past. Now, because he hasn't won an MVP yet, he's lower than Caleb Ward is for me. I think Caleb Ward, if they both don't have an award, even though Caleb has one extra loss, I would still give him the nod over Goober. And they're very similar in the way that they're 0-3 in the playoffs. But this is kind of where I value these guys, this 7 and 8 spot, and I got to give the nod to Caleb over Goober. But again, 8th for Goober I think is really high. I think if you said that to anybody after season 2, they would think you're nuts. Yeah. And that just shows how good of a season Goober's having. And once he wins an award, he's only going to go up. So, big Goober fan, number 8 all time for me.
Makes sense. I mean, same as well. I'm a big Goober fan. I have him at the 8 as well. I think it's this season, speaks for itself. He jumped. he had to jump, 15, 20 spots. I don't know where I would have put him, but, he had to. Yeah, I mean, he would have been pretty, but I think he soared past some of these players and kind of established himself as one of the best. And it's just because he doesn't have those playoff wins, because he's 0-3. I just have him lower um, than some of those other players. But I mean, once again, it's kind of like Gideon. He has another chance to do it, and honestly, adding one or two more playoff wins makes you jump up so much. Because I mean, especially he also has the Legacy Cup, so I think it's a great spot for Goober. And I think he has so much he can prove. I think there's a lot of room to keep going because those playoff wins move you up so much, and those awards. And he's already at the 8 without those playoff wins, without that MVP. So once he does get that, I'm interested to see where he goes.
That's good.
But along with that, the spot right under him at the 9 spot, I have the past game winner Enigma. I have Enigma at the 9. I do. I have
At
Enigma at the high
9?
spot. At the high 9 spot. Like I said earlier, I put high regards for winning in the present season. Obviously, I think the past stuff really does matter, but when I factor it in, I have high respect for players who are winning currently, just because I know how much of the game changes, and as a player, I can just see the difference. And I think Enigma, and I think it is at a high spot, but I think he has proven so fast that he's one of the best players in the league. I saw it firsthand. I saw the defensive in the apocalypse mastermind there, and then we just saw him steal the kill record just a little bit ago. I think he's proven that he can beat the best players in the league, and I also give a lot of credit to him for that big 3 for the Raptors. I mean, they're now 4 into their last 6. That's one of the best streaks you were kind of talking about earlier than maybe the Cuties. And he's kind of the big reason for that. Obviously, Strong, Cater helping a lot, but he's the one getting those wins and getting it done. So I have him high up there. I have him higher than maybe some veterans, who maybe have a little more awards, have been around a little longer. But once again, I just have a lot more respect for more current wins, in my opinion.
That's fair. And he's your 9, is that right?
Correct.
Very interesting. Very interesting. My 9 might make people a little bit repulsed then. But I think I've got very good reasons for it.
Yeah.
My number 9 is Brent Ritter.
Mm.
Brent Ritter. Here's the deal. Enigma's 3-2. I get it. That's great. Brent is 2-3. Like, sure, that is a difference. Like, that is different. It's very close. Not only that, Brent Ritter's won an award, Rookie of the Year, and he's 1-0 in the playoffs. I love Enigma. He's close on my list, which I'll maybe be announcing in a minute. But I've got to give Brent the nod because of that playoff success. And I think it's crazy because that 2-1 season that Brent had, season 2, is one of the best seasons of all time. And you can say, oh, he had the Purple Dragon next to him. Oh, he had Indiana with him all the time. Oh, he was in the best system ever. But I don't think you can take away all of those accolades. Again, if you're saying that Brent, his whole season is discounted because the Purple Dragon was next to him, then you've got to then why didn't Piano Man go 2-1? Why didn't Jolie Poley go 2-1? Why didn't Ian go 2-1? It's because Brent had the best combination. He had the best connection with his coach, his captain, and he got it done. 2-3 in his career, 1-0 in the playoffs, 1.6 APF before season 2, so that's probably way lower. Or before season 3, so that's actually probably way lower. But, and he hasn't found success on this Beaver team. That's got to hurt his legacy a little bit, but I'm telling you, man, if this guy can get plugged into the right place, I think he can go higher. And I think if we see him play with Drew this season, we might see a return to form. So that accolade, that second season that he had was so good that I think he has to be there. And at number 10, I also have Enigma. So Enigma's right behind him for me. Again, Enigma just doesn't have that playoff win. He doesn't have that award. He might get one this year, but he's 3-2 as opposed to the 2-3. And again, like I was saying, how excited I was when Enigma won that game. He has demonstrated the ability to go offensive and defensive.
Mm-hmm.
He's such a rare player that I think is going to be set up to have such success in this league. And I'm really excited to see how he climbs as the awards come out and as like we really start to solidify this season, put it in writing and say like, oh, start handing out awards. I'm sure he's going to go higher, but for now he's got to be 10 for me.
That makes sense. Yeah, the Brent Ritter one. I think you'll see him a little maybe lower in my list. We'll talk about that a little later. But at my 10 spot, I have captain of the Mama Llamas, Johnny. His is very interesting. We can talk about it. It's very interesting. He's played a lot of games. He's lost a lot of games. But I think the ones he has won are important. And we can start season 1. Llamas weren't projected to make the playoffs. Doesn't look like we're going to make it. He comes in last game, gets that win, pushes his team to the playoffs, okay? So first of all, he kind of carries the team, gets us in there, okay? Then in there, beats Luke Joggers in the playoffs, gets that playoff win, which is huge. Beats the number 1 player in the league and gets that playoff win. The GOAT. Season 2, we see quite a bit of a drop off. I mean, you can argue his team played well as a captain, but that's not really his games. And then season 3, I think he comes back and he gets that win. The reason I have him higher than some other players is just because 1, the playoff win. 2, he's able to get to his team playoff twice. And just the ability to win in season 1, fall off season 2, and then come back season 3. I have high regards for players who can kind of follow the trend of the game. And I think Consistency, yes. I think consistency is big, and especially when they fall off and you're able to get back up and come back and get that win. So I have high regards for him. Obviously, I played with them, so I'm in the locker room. I know how much he loves the game, how good he is at the game, and how much he helped me become the player I am today. So I have to put him in that spot. And then right up below him at the 11th spot, I have a similar player. Consistency is the brand for him. Hodgepodge, captain of the Jelly Jets. He's won a game every season. He proved he's consistent. He doesn't have those high highs like some other players, like getting these awards. He hasn't made the playoffs, but he's proved that he can win in every season. And which I keep saying, I love the consistency, proving that you can win against any competition. And obviously, I haven't below Johnny because he doesn't have that playoff win, hasn't gotten to the playoffs, so it's just hard to put him higher than that. But I think you have to give him his props for just keep on winning no matter what the game looks like.
That's interesting. Yeah, I see your appreciation for longevity and consistency. You and I are very similar. I've got Johnny in my number 11 spot, right behind Enigma. And I think, like you were saying, season 1 he had success as a player. Season 3 he had success as a player. Mm-hmm. But like really his highs are really what is captivating because Hodgepodge is the definition of consistent. 1 win every year. Yeah. But he's never hit the 2-win milestone. He's never won a playoff game like Johnny has. He's never really stuck his neck out in those big moments and had a big game even. We've never seen Hodgepodge play in a game that's mattered, ever. Because his team has never made it. His team's never made it. Like, Johnny has been, like, he's been at the forefront of a championship contending team for 2, if he did this year, it would be 3 years now. Mm-hmm. Like, he's been there for so long. He's been good for so long. And he has the highs that can really justify, I think, an 11 spot. At 12, I do have Hodgepodge. He's the definition of consistency, and I think because he's played since season 1, this consistency really matters. It's not easy to win in different eras. We've seen players who have won in season 1 and haven't won since. We've seen players that have only won in season 2. We've seen players that have only won in season 3, maybe because they're rookies. but to win in every era, even on a team that isn't very functional, like the Jelly Jets, like not the most functional team up until Mr. Java's kind of revolution he started.
Yeah.
You know, it is impressive. Consistency on a consistently unimpressive team. Got to give the nod to him at 12.
It's interesting. Our middle of them were kind of mixed up. I think we still have very similar players. I think we all have the same top. Was it that we got the top 12, the same top 12?
I do think it's a little wild you don't have Brent high.
Yeah. I mean, we can.
I'm interested to see how high he goes.
I'll give my reason. I'll give my reason when it comes. But okay. At my 12th spot, like I said, I have high regards for the presence. I have rookie Python.
Wow.
I do.
Python higher than Brent?
Here's why.
What?
Here's my reason. And I feel like this is valid, okay? I feel like this is valid. And you can argue what you think is more important. Python, or I'm not even going to compare him to Brent. I'll just talk about Python, okay? He's 2-1 to start his career. He started his career on the Jets, who are historically one of the worst organizations for bringing up players. And Python Hobson, first game, wins. Hobson, second game, basically should have won. Max Power sneaks in and wins it, beats the game. So you almost are at 2-0. And his third game comes in and wins again. I think every time I've watched his games, I was part of his game. And I also know the impact he has also on the Jets. I have him higher than some other players that played last season, but I think it's kind of like an Alex Bruns where he jumped into the league immediately and proved that he's good. I don't think he needed that he doesn't even need that extra season to kind of jump up the ranks, kind of like maybe I did bad first season. Piano Man, he jumped up quickly. Some of those guys were first season. Goober wasn't great, took him a few seasons. He jumped to the league immediately, similar to Enigma. And I have high regards to those players who don't even need those few games to lose to kind of get into the groove. They immediately jump to the league and are competing with the best of the best. Yeah. We can argue that as it comes on, but right under him, I have Piano Man. This season has been amazing for him. Amazing stats. 2-0. You can see my big
Piano
thing
Man
is
higher than Brent.
I did, and he's about to come up. He's about to come up, and I'll explain exactly why. Piano Man, he didn't get it done with the commissioner on his team, but when he left, he got even better. And I think that proves how good he is. He proves that he's getting it done without that. Obviously, he has Ian next to him, but I mean, I think Ian's a great captain. But I think we can all agree that having the purple dragon next to you, I think, would be a little more helpful than maybe any other captain in the league. I mean, just maybe.
I'm an Ian fan. I don't want to.
I'm a big Ian. I'm not saying I'm a big Ian fan. I think
you're allowed to say that. I don't think I'm allowed to agree with that.
That's fair. I have Ian as one of my captain years candidates, so I think Ian's amazing captain. But I don't think you can really argue when you have the commissioner next to your side. I think Piano Man stepped in these games and actually just destroyed his competition. He's carrying the Dragons to a playoff spot potentially, and I think he's had a great season, and he's proven he's one of the best in the league.
That's fair. You're at your number.
That was my 13.
13, right?
Yes.
I don't only have Brent higher than Python. I also have Piano Man higher than Python.
Okay.
And here's why. I understand what you're saying. Python comes into the league really good, 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Piano Man. Here's the interesting thing about him.
Okay, let's hear.
I've seen him play. Okay, I've been with him for his games, and he's played four games in his career. And you used, which I agree with, using this, the fact that Python almost beat Max as a thing of like, oh, he could be 3-0 right now. Let me tell you how Piano Man's first 2 games went in the Board Wars League. Season 2 Board Wars. You're a young Piano Man. You enter your first ever game, and in your debut game, you play against Drew, Hodgepodge, and Straw. Consensus like top 12 guys, one that's consensus top 3, and Straw, who is, I think you and I would agree, one of the best players that hasn't won a game ever.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of a Mr. Java to us.
Mm-hmm.
In his debut, Piano Man goes in, and does he roll over? Does he fail? No, he doesn't. He goes 4-5. 4 kills, 5 deaths, second place. He places higher than Straw and Hodgepodge, and he loses in margins to Drew.
Mm.
Losing by inches to the third best player of all time, I don't think that's a normal loss. I think that's a better loss than Python's loss to Max. And again, this is no diss to Python. I'll tell you where I think he is in a moment, but let's look at Piano Man's second game. By the way, these are the only 2 games he's ever lost. His second game as a rookie, he steps into the arena, and who is he against? JD, top 5 player of all time. Gideon, top 5, 6 player of all time. And Mr. Java? In his second ever game? Piano Man steps into the arena against, he's already played some of the best players ever. And guess what? Does Piano Man roll over? No. He only gets 2 kills that game. But for the record, Gideon got 2 kills. Mr. Java got 1 kill. Statistically, he outperforms Gideon and Mr. Java, and he gets second place. Placing second to the best player, one of the best players of all time in Drew, and MVP JD in the same year. And we're counting this as just a loss, like he just stunk season 2. I don't think that's the case at all. I don't think that can be. And because of his lack of success, maybe unfairly, he doesn't get a playoff game. We can't really help that because the Dragons were one of the best teams in the league. He shows up season 3. You're saying it's the best season of all time? He's not lost. He's 2-0. He's a 99 overall right now. He's higher than Python right now. You're trying to tell me he's lower than Python all time? No way. He's higher than him right now.
I have him right below. Yeah, that's true. But I think I think you're talking about, the losses. He played great teams, but there's still losses. They're still on the record. And I think you talk about the second place. I was part of one of them. I don't think they were amazing. Like, they were second places. I think the 2 wins, the one I was part of, I didn't see a whole lot. I think there's a huge difference from Piano Man now and last season. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of my big thing. Sure. I think he made the huge jump. I just think Python hopped in immediately and is doing basically the same thing that Piano Man is doing.
I don't know, man. I think Piano Man showed a lot in that first season. I don't think those losses are really on him. And I think he has grown a lot. I think he is literally a 99 overall. He's the best player in the league right now. So his peaks are higher than Python's. I think his longevity is more clear than Python because Python's only played 1 year. So to me, it's like he beats him across the board. And I respect Python a lot. If Python is watching this, or anyone who loves Python is watching this, I have high respect for Python. This is not a diss on Python at all. This is just Piano Man, I think, deserves very high praise, higher than he's getting. And that was my 12 spot right now, I think, right? Maybe that was my 13.
13.
My 14 spot is actually not Python. It's not. Because this player, sure, he has one more loss than Python does. Okay. But he's beaten Python head to head. And that's Max Power. I do have Max Power 14 all time. And I think that's because he's had such success. He's had such success this season. He's 2-0. He hasn't lost yet this year either. Python has lost this year. And I think Max Power's first season, sure, he was a rookie. It wasn't as glamorous as Piano Man. I can't go in the list and be like, oh, well, look at this. But like, it's his second ever season. And sure, he didn't jump on it as fast as Python does. So I get valuing Python's wins because of how quick it was. But Max, he hops on it, he does it, and he beats Python head to head. So for me, they're pretty much tied. Max is 2-2, Python's 2-1. And Python had much better losses, but Max beat Python head to head.
It's true.
For that reason and that reason only, I give Max the nod over Python. It's just because if we're comparing them like that, I've got to give it to Max. I mean, he's beaten him.
No, I think it's bad. I mean, yeah, I love Max has grown a lot in player, and he has that win over him. Does. And I'm gonna get to him, but not yet though, because at my 14th spot, who you had a lot higher than I did, I have Brent Ritter.
Sure.
Okay, and let me say my piece first, and then we can talk about, because obviously our opinions are definitely very different in this. Brent Ritter, an amazing season 2, one of the best seasons you could have, but he leaves that team and immediately, I think, not just doesn't win, and this is any disrespect to Brent, but completely different outlook and performance in these games. You can tell in the games that he's looking, that everything isn't fully there, that he's missing something. I feel like in those losses, and I think that's just because, I mean, as far as it's only his second season, his first season, he's with a great organization, great captain. I mean, you can say similar to Alex Bruns, where when they got that guy next to him, that they perform amazingly. And I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying that I feel like to be higher than those guys and to see such a difference when you leave that team, that captain, such a disparity from best season to one of the worst seasons, or one of the worst for 2 games this season. I think it drops him a lot lower, and if all honesty, I have doubts. Like, I have to be honest with you, that's kind of why I have him lower. I need to see better performance from him when not on the Dragons. And then at my
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we can discuss after my 15th, but at my 15th, I have Max Power. 2-2 on the season, rising star. His first 2 losses, I know in first season he lost one of his games he lost to Luke Joggers. No one really beats him when he's in a 6-1 streak, so he had some unlucky there.
Yeah.
But I think he's improved so much this season. His defensive play style. He beat Python with a great Apocalypse ending game. He had a great game against Straw and Brent, and those guys kind of played the diplomacy very well. And also, he's in my locker room, so I know how much of impact he had on my game. Personally, in my last game, I think I would have done even worse in diplomacy if he wasn't next to my side, telling me what to say, because that's something sometimes I'm not the best at. And he's very good at diplomacy and saying the right thing and helping and getting teams kind of to align with him. And that's kind of his skills in this game, which is why I think we've seen him win, how he's won the last 2 games. So yeah, I think he slips right to that 15th spot. And I mean, these last 5, they're very close. We can argue, like Python, Piano Man, Max Power, those guys. I think they're all very close. I think they all deserve to be on this top 15. I think we had the same. Actually, yeah, you haven't said your 15. Actually,
I have not. My 15 is Python.
Okay.
Python again. I give the nod to Max over Python. I give the nod to Piano Man and all those guys. I love Python. I think to only play 3 games through a 3-game sample size and be in our top 15 players of all time is outrageous.
Oh,
and
insane.
I think he is at the forefront of a change in Jet history. I think he has done he has had magical effects on the Jelly Jets, a team that hasn't sniffed the playoffs since their inception, is now relevant and interesting, and he breaks records for the Jelly Jets, and he helps change the culture with Mr. Java, and it's really exciting. And I do think he's gonna probably win an award this year. at least
Probably.
rookie of the year
Yeah.
right now. And so I'm interested to see where his career goes, and I'm really high on him for the future. I just think right now with what we've got, he's 15, which I think is impressive.
Yeah. 100%.
I do want to respond to your Brent Ritter
Yeah.
analysis. Here's one thing that I think is interesting, because let me start this by saying I've got 2 honorable mentions.
Okay.
And these honorable mentions I really appreciate, and I think they've got to be talked about in some capacity, and that they haven't made our lists. Those honorable mentions are Jeff, the player on the Mama Llamas, who has 2 All-Star appearances, and because the All-Stars haven't been handed out for season 3, that is the most All-Stars that a player has had.
Wow.
It's really just his highs don't reach the highs. And as Jeff has played in the regular season, and as he's gone 0-2 in this season, like, Jeff is a very consistent player, but we've seen that consistency fall behind in season 3, which is, I think both of us count season 3 more than the previous years. So Jeff is 2-7 in his career. He's got 2 wins, but he's got a lot of losses in the regular season, and he's 0-2 in the playoffs. Granted, those 2 losses in the playoffs are really impressive losses. One of them I remember off the dome was in season 1 against Drew. The other, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but I know that they were both good. And I think it's just, a matter of not having those highs, not having a win yet in season 3. And he's scheduled to get another game, so I hope that happens. I hope he gets a win and he's back up there, but that's where he is for now. And then I also want to give a shout out to Indiana Jones. Indiana is 2-4 in his career. That is a very good record. His main thing holding him back too is he's 0-2 in the playoffs. I will say I was with him that first game that he played in the playoffs, and he should have won. He should have won that game. JD ended up pulling it through. Goober was right behind him. That game was tough. It was long.
Yeah, real long.
Indiana, we should have helped him get that win. But as it stands, he's 2-4, 0-2 in the playoffs, just doesn't make the cut. But I think those players are really respected. I think we saw something very similar with Indiana to what Brent is experiencing. And Indiana played his first game of the season without the purple dragon sitting next to him. And everyone was like, oh, what happened? And I think the common thread is Indiana plays his game. And the Dragons are usually very good at meeting up. But that night, Indiana had nobody with him. Going from having the best guy in the game giving you advice to nobody at all is the hardest turnaround you could possibly see. And in his second game of the year, what happened? He had literally like Piano Man next to him, which isn't the purple dragon. And he wins. And he wins. Brent, I think, is in the same situation. He went to a Beaver team that not only doesn't have the purple dragon, but because Drew was on his hiatus, had nobody. He's going from the best help in the league to nobody sitting next to him, and we're like, oh, why did he fall off? Ridiculous to me. Ridiculous to me. So I don't think that I don't think that's like that doesn't hurt him at all. But he had the best season I think we've seen. 2-1, 1-0 in the playoffs. So I think to me, having a guy who's won in the postseason over these guys that are regular season merchants for the most part, Hodgepodge, Python, Piano Man, Max Bauer, none of them have won a playoff game. And they've got a similar record. So why do we, I don't know. That's the last I'll say about it. Brent, if you're watching, I think you're underrated, man. Keep it up, because I think if Drew's next to you and giving you some of the goods, I think you're going to return to form. Those are my thoughts on that. But do you have any honorable mentions?
Yeah, I mean, they're actually. I have two other names, and then while I was writing my top 15, I kind of wrote a bunch of names and kind of came down, and there was
Yeah.
literally two other names I had on my list, and it was also Jeff and Ian. I
Yep.
obviously Jeff, he had the great. I mean, you already talked about, but Jeff, he's very consistent. He doesn't have the high highs though to pass up these other players. And then Ian also great second season, and it was able to get that last win definitely bumped him up. And it's kind of similar to Brent, where it's like, okay, can he get it done without the purple dragon? And boom, he gets it done. I don't think he just doesn't quite scrape it. I don't think he's above Brent. I think Brent still had has better overall than Ian and didn't pass up Max. But I think both of those players are right below them and definitely deserve their respect. And honestly, they're one win away from bouncing into that top 15.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. And I think that kind of transitions us into our next segment. I gotta say though, in summary, you and I agree on a lot. I'm higher on Brent than you. I think I'm technically lower on Python than you, but I don't really feel like it's by much.
It's not by much.
And then I'm lower
Caleb
on
Ward.
than you. Yeah,
I think those were the two big ones.
for sure. For sure.
With our next segment, we have a pretty fun one. I feel like this will be interesting to see what Gus has. But we have the top 5 draft classes of all time. And what we mean by that, not just like what was season 1 better than season 2, but team by team, what team and what season had the best draft class.
Mm-hmm.
So Gus, how do you want to do this? You want to start at the number 1, or do you want to start at the bottom 5 and move up?
I don't know. I feel like we should have the same number 1, but we might not. So
Maybe. I'm not sure what you have.
I'm kind of interested to see how this goes. So why don't we start at the bottom?
Okay.
Do you have any honorable mentions? I have one honorable mention.
I have one, but I'd like to hear yours first.
My honorable mention is the Los Cuties season 1.
Mm-hmm.
The season 1 Los Cuties is my honorable mention. Now, again, like JD said, we're talking about the best draft classes of all time. So we look at not how good the Cuties were season 1, but who they brought in, and over the years, how those people they brought in through that specific class has panned out. The season 1 Los Cuties has resulted in 6 career wins, which sounds amazing. Here's the catch. Those 6 wins come from 2 players. The other 2 guys they drafted was Yuki, who never ended up playing a game, never getting a start. He just was that bad, I guess. And and Colin Fowler, a guy who we saw play once in season 1, once in season 2, has never put it together and has kind of been overlooked as new talent has come into the league. So to me, it's not just a question of how highs your highs go. It's also a question of how consistently you hit on these picks. And because of that, they would have been 6 for me. They don't make my top 5.
Okay, interesting. After hearing that, I think we'll have a lot to discuss. I think ours might be a little different. And we love to have different opinions here, but at my honorable mention, I'm going a little different direction. I'm going more the potential. They haven't really done much, so it's more a recent draft class. I have the season 3 Jelly Jets. They haven't really done too much other than Python, but my big thing is they drafted so many players and they completely redid their team. So obviously they can't be in the top 5 because they haven't really proven a whole lot other than Python. But I think it's more the potential and also just the whole rework of a team. We don't see that often, and I'm interested to see what they can do with that.
That's interesting because right at my number 5 spot, I have the season 3 Jelly Jets.
Okay.
And again, why do I give them the nod over the season 1 Cuties? Well, because I feel like they hit on a lot more of these picks. The stakes were so high for the Jelly Jets going into season 3. And season 1, it was like, man, I've got these 30 guys available. I'm building a team from scratch. There's really no risk. It's just, who do I think is the best player available? Season 3, it's like, oh man, I've got my entire roster to build out because I'm the Jelly Jets and I did a complete rebuild. I've got to find people that fit. I've got to find people who are good, and then there's so many people to choose from. Python in the first round is such a hit. I mean, he's such a hit, third overall. And I think like Buizquiz, Wonder Boy, Swamp Dave, even El Nino and like Jonah, at the bottom of the list, are all scheduled to get games or have played games already. All of them have been good. All of them. And they've hit on so many of those picks. They've brought in, Python and Wonder Boy. That tandem is so exciting. And I think because it sparked such a reset in the culture of the Jets, and you're right, we haven't seen how they're fully going to pan out in their careers yet. But I think because of that, I'm like, okay, this is the only chance a season 3 team has to make my list. And if out of any of them, I think this team is posed and positioned to have the most success in the future. So because of that, I've got them at my 5 spot.
Yeah, I mean, that's completely fair. I think ours is also very similar because at my 5 spot, I have the Los Cuties. I think we just have I have the Los Cuties right there. My big thing is season 1. Yeah, sorry. Season 1, let me clarify that. Obviously, they had the big hitter, Alex Bruns, Mr. Irrelevant. I think that's a huge thing right there where you kind of get that last pick and you get an MVP out of that last pick. And then the only other one was Caleb Ward. They call him fire in the Yuki, but they haven't really done too much. My big thing is why they're above the Jets is because that draft class won a Legacy Cup. They actually proved it. Their last pick won a playoff game and got them to that spot. So that's why I have them higher than the Jets. I think the Jets as a whole has very high potential, but it's just a lot of them, some of them haven't gotten games yet or haven't won a game yet, so they haven't proved it yet. And then when a draft class goes and wins a Legacy Cup in their first season, it's hard to say they're not above them.
I think that's fair.
But, yeah. But then at my 4 spot, I have kind of similarly is the season 1 Smoky Salamanders.
Okay.
It's also similar to where they had Dan, they had Slushy, and they had Caden. We saw Caden he's now on the Raptors captain there, and he got his win there. And then you have Dan, he had a win season 2, and then of course you have Slushy, who we both had at the number 2 player. He was the 2nd overall pick, so he was already highly regarded as a good pick. But I think once again, this draft class literally got themselves a Legacy Cup. Like there wasn't any other players from any other from their season 2 draft. Those players didn't get those wins. It was the season 1 draft class that.
Well, they also had Goober.
True, they had Goober, but I think Slushy got those 2 playoff wins. Like a guy from that draft class won them that Legacy Cup, which I think was also just very similar to the Cuties. So that's why I had them at my 4.
That's fair. I'm interested to see what you think of this. At my 4, I've got the Sailors a little bit higher.
Okay.
I've got the Ruby Raptors at my 4 spot. The Ruby Raptors draftees so far have a combined total of 4 wins. Mm-hmm. And like the Jelly Jets, I think there was a lot on the line. So the way I kind of did this list, JD, is I looked at which draft classes resulted in the most wins.
Okay.
So I counted up the career wins and I looked at them. And again, the Cuties were 6, but I felt like their context wasn't as good as the Jets, who currently stand at 2. The Raptors have 4 wins from that draft class. And I gotta say, I think they hit on a lot of those picks, but there are some minuses that I think you have to include. So Enigma and Straw are the main people you look at. Enigma in the first round, amazing. Straw in the 4th round? What a vice captain pull in the 4th round for the Raptors. I mean, an incredible pick. They picked Preston Donahue in the 2nd round, which is incredible. They also picked Jackson Gravatt, a pick that they traded for. Now, that is a great pick. Jackson Gravatt, rebranded to be Bucky as we know him in season 3, is having a great rookie, I guess, season on the Beavers. It's a rookie season in the sense that these are his first games because he didn't play a game for the Raptors. So even though that does contribute to their 4-win total, it's Enigma for 3, Bucky for 1. That's still not the best class because they didn't retain him, they didn't put him into the system, and he really only found success on the Beavers. So I love this Raptor draft class. I mean, I think Enigma and Straw completely changed the culture, similarly to how I felt about the Jets in season 3. But there were just, the Preston pick is good, but he hasn't had much success. And then the Jackson pick was really underutilized in season 2. And I also want to say, side note, the Raptors were in a pretty tough spot season 2 because of external reasons, but they really did good. So no diss to them at all, but they're my number 4.
Okay. I mean, I think it's a little similar. I actually have them a spot higher because at my 3 spot, I have the season 2 Ruby Raptors.
Really?
I do at the 3 spot. So, I mean, you just talked about Straw, Enigma, Jackson. My big thing, and it's similar to the Jelly Jets, where it's kind of a rebrand, but I think it's an even better rebrand because we can already see the production of it. They brought Caden in, and then you draft Straw and Enigma, and those 3 guys, in my opinion, at the moment in the league, are the big 3. I mean, they just proved they've won 4 of their last 6. They are steamrolling players. They have defensive, they have offensive. They're working so well together, and I think Caden's ability to be able to pick those guys out, to find those guys, and draft them, and creating the Raptors from not making the playoffs to now top of the division, is insane. Is insane to me. And then that's along with Jackson, who they weren't able to utilize. But I mean, you still talk about, he went over to the Beavers, doesn't even have his captain, and still won a game. Like that's insane. It's his second season, but it's his first season playing, and he still wins without a captain. I don't think many players have won when there's like no one by them side like that, especially when it's their first season. Like that's so impressive. So I think this draft class there were so many hits. Preston hasn't got his win yet. But I mean, you see, he didn't have that bad of a game early in the season. But I think that's that draft class. I think they've already produced wins, and then they pulled a vice captain out of it. And they pulled Enigma, a rising star in the league. I think they hit on so many picks. And also just, we weren't expecting them. I think it's also big when it's like, you don't really think they're going to be that good of a player. Like, it's different when it's like, oh, you drafted Caleb Ward, Slushy. All right, we knew they were going to be great. But season 2, you go and pull out Straw and Enigma. We don't know they're going to be. You don't know you're pulling out a vice captain and a potential MVP in the future years like that.
Yeah.
So that's why I have them at my 3.
That's very fair. Yeah, at my 3, I have a team that we haven't talked about yet. A team that I think aged very well in their selections, and that is the season 1 Mama Llamas. That team is awesome. They have accounted for 6 total wins, which is tied for the second most. Tied with the season 1 Cuties and the season 1 Sallies. Now that's inflated because season 1 players have had more opportunities to win. Mm-hmm. But still, they've produced Jeff, who is a 2-time All-Star, Calbrus, who is a 1-time All-Star, JD, who had an MVP season, and Ducky, who, though he's kind of a slant to the record, isn't as big of a slant as, to me, like Yuki, because he did get in a game, and he played pretty well. He didn't play for the Llamas, so it's more of a Bucky-type situation, but I think that's a very good roster. I think I really give a lot of praise to teams that draft players that end up being captains. Mm-hmm. And I think because of that, having JD in that draft class just changes everything. And I think it set up the Llamas for an incredible second season. And honestly, the draft classes for the Llamas have been a little lackluster in years since. I mean, they had Max Power and Jacob Hicks in season 2, which I guess is pretty good. Season 3, Meow Meow and Penguin Goon. So they're really primed in position to need another good draft class. But I think that season 1 class they had really set them up for success. And, you kind of notice that the teams who draft well are usually the teams that, in a few seasons really get up there. I think that's what we saw with the Llamas.
Yeah, no, I think that's good because similar at my 2 spot, I have Mama Llama season 1. I think they hit on so many picks. I mean, you just talked about it, but you start at the bottom. You picked me, I think, round 3. Season 1 wasn't. I didn't really prove much there, but I think season 2 is kind of where I kind of shined. I kind of hoped the team ultimately didn't win the Galaxy Cup, but I think we got ourselves real close. Then you have Jeff, consistent player. We had him right there in the honorable mentions, where he's very consistent getting those wins. Season 1, season 2. Kyle, who's now the vice captain of the team, he also getting that win. Then you also had Duck and Dylan didn't play, but I think those big 3 kind of help solidify the team. I have a few stats here. I'm pretty sure I came up right, but this draft class is the only team to have 5 wins in the same year by that one draft class. There's a few teams who had 4. Whoa. The Dragons, they had 4 there, but the Llamas right here, we had 5 season 2 with me with 3, with Jeff with 1, Kyle 1, all from the same draft class. I don't think anyone got that. So yeah, I think it's just the wide range that draft class had. Great job by John Mark right there. Got to shout him out.
Totally.
Getting some snipes there. Yeah, I think it's just a great draft class and just overall lots of players they got to choose from. They got a captain start another team. Got his vice captain from season 1, and he had Jeff, who's just continued to stay consistent as a key player on that Llama team.
Totally. And so many of those players are in the top leaderboards. And, I love that players becoming captains. I love having them in the top conversations. And I think because of that, my second best roster draft class of all time, rather, is the Smoky Salamanders season 1. I think, obviously, they're tied again. 6 wins have happened because of that class. And I think when you see where those wins come from, it's very inspiring. Slushy, first round. The consensus second best player of all time. Now, I want to point out that he's the only player in the top 3 that has been drafted.
Wow.
And that was both of our consensus picks.
Yeah.
He is... They picked Dakota Sheets, which we're thinking like, oh, Dakota, he's kind of a wash. He played 2 games in season 1. That is not nearly as big of a wash as like the Llamas have had or some other team where they've got that one like pretty bad spot on their class. Dakota played 2 games season 1. Caden played 3 games and ended up being a captain, the now captain of the Ruby Raptors. So they drafted a captain, which, along with you, like I think that's very impressive. And then they drafted Dan in the 4th round, who, other than Alex Bruns, who was Mr. Irrelevant, is like the only late pick we've seen, really, that have produced any wins at all. And Dan did produce a win last year. He's coming off the suspension this year. We'll see if he can win a second one.
Hope to see him.
But that class was amazing. And like you were saying earlier, I mean, other than Goober, who they acquired through trade from the Chess Rules, now the Ruby Raptors relocation team, that team basically won them the cup. Slushy pretty much single-handedly did it, but then like Dan really helped. And while that was happening, Caden was over there establishing his own team and, kind of something that resulted in another high draft class that we had. He picked Strawn Enigma. So like,
yeah,
they impacted the league so much and they continued to do so. And at this moment, all of like those 3 players that I mentioned who have a win in their career are at the top of the divisions. Like the Sallies are over there and now Caden's over here and they're running the league right now. So I would really have to give my number 2 spot. And I think based on that, we have the same number 1.
I think so.
And I think for the sake of redundancy, maybe you should be the one to lead this conversation.
Yeah,
Because I feel like
I'll
I'm a
take.
little bit high on this team
Yeah, a little hot
at
team.
times.
All right. Well, at the number one spot for the best draft class of all time, me and Gus both have the Purple Dragons season 2. I
Totally.
think this team, top to bottom, really did not miss at all. I mean, you can start with Brent, 2 wins, Ian, 2 wins, becomes captain, takes over the team, and is still doing great. So they didn't really fall off at all. I even have a stat here. First season, those draft class players, they went 4-9, but then this season they've went 3-5. Those same players in that draft class. It's like they didn't fall off that much. That if you average out the overall, it's first season was 89 overall, second season 87 overall. So they lose their captain, and not much of a drop off for them. Instead, even a jump up. Ian gets his the same win. Piano wins 2 more games. You have Joel from season 1. He had a win. And then you also have Joshua and Jason. Jason never played. Joshua got a game in. Didn't perform very well.
Astro Bears.
He's on the Astro Bears. We'll maybe see him, maybe not, but I think he has very high potential. He's a very respected man in our community. But I think just from top to bottom, it's kind of hard to argue when a team comes in second season and is already behind the 8 ball, and instead draft just perfectly down the line, picks up their players, and they all win games, get to the playoffs, lose their captain, and then come in season 2 and are just as good. They're performing like just as well. Those same players, they're keeping it up. So I think that's why I have a number one spot. Gus, I'm sure it's very same reasons, but why do you have them on number one spot?
Well, and again, I kind of wanted you to say more things first. I drafted this team, so I feel like it's a little bit like, but I know ball. I knew ball back then, and I knew the guys I was picking were the best. And now, even though I do get credit for drafting this team, I think a lot of credit goes to my first overall pick, which you look at the 3 first overall picks next to each other. You see Caleb Ward, Ian Schneider, Indiana Jones, and Papa Bear. Wow. And I think those are incredible first overall picks. I think they've aged incredibly well. And if I had that pick again, I know Enigma's on that list. I know Max Power, Piano Man's on that list. Like, if there was a redraft that happened where everyone knew how they would pan out, Piano Man, I'd probably lose Brent somewhere in the first round. But I would still pick Ian Schneider first overall. Because I knew picking that guy, a guy who I've grown so close with over the years, who I respect so much, I think is a real brother to me. I trusted him. I knew I could trust him with developing these guys. And when I think I made the decision to stop being a captain and come back up to the press booth, I was able to make that decision because that panned out so well. And because Ian is such a good leader. And, he is so valuable. So when I picked the team, I put Piano Man, Jolie Poley, and Brent together. I really credit Ian, especially like you were saying in season 3, they continue to win to really feed that fire. I think Indiana is huge to blame for Piano Man, Jolie Poley, and Brent Ritter's development and current success as well. Like, the Dragons are, like you said, good this year. It's really exciting for me to see my team continue to succeed, and they're continuing to succeed not because of me. I've stepped away. So really, a lot of credit and praise from me to Indiana for, I really do think, even though I drafted this team, more of this goes on to him for really being a good steward of what I gave him. And I think that's why they're number one. I think it's because of Ian. So, and I also want to say real quick, because I made my list based on wins first. I was like, okay, this draft class got this many, and I kind of went from there. Surprisingly, there's a lot of goose eggs. If you look at it, there's a lot of zeros. The season 2 Jelly Jets 0, season 2 and 3 Cuties are 0, season 3 Raptors are 0, season 2 and 3 Sallies are 0. That's interesting to me. Really living off that first class. Season 3 Llamas 0, season 3 Dragons 0 as of right now. But yeah, no, a lot of teams are tied at 6 wins. The Dragons are right ahead at 7. And I think that is our list. Me saying that it's very interesting to me how the two championship teams had no wins from their second and third season draft class. The Cuties and the Sallies both. I wonder what that means, and I wonder, like, because the Cuties have fallen off a little bit this season. Maybe the Sallies might be primed to fall off if they don't get a good draft class going here soon. Very interested to see how that goes. But I don't know. What do you think about the drafts that we've gone over, and just how do you feel about how the process has evolved over time?
Yeah, I mean, I think it shows that you need a variety. I think at this point in the league, I think earlier, maybe season one, it was like, okay, we could win with like two guys. We could win with like three guys maybe. But as the season keeps on going and players keep on getting better, it's kind of showing that you need like at least three like solid dudes, maybe even four. Like you need to start as there's more games. As the league keeps getting bigger, you need to hit on more of your picks. You can't rely just on one guy. And I think we kind of saw that. I mean, we kind of saw season one, Alex Bruns did a lot. Season two, Slushy did a lot. But I think as the seasons go on, you're going to have to rely on more players to get you there just because of the wide range of skills that we just keep on getting into the league. And as the game keeps on progressing, and I think it's just important to point out that as the seasons keep on going on, that these teams that did hit on these like Sallies and the Cuties, it's a good reminder that they can't, that although their team can be really good right now, that they can continue to look for those good prospects, that they're going to need them later on when people are playing less games, different stages of life, maybe have fallen off, that you're going to need to continually have good players. So it's not just a good reminder for these captains to make sure you do your research, for the draft, to get those good prospects, to try your best to continue to bring people into this amazing community.
I completely agree. And I do want to say one more thing before we kind of end this topic. I do want to say that the most combined wins for all draft classes of all time is the Mama Llamas. That is interesting to me. That matters to me. The second most of all time. So the Mama Llamas are 9. The second most or the first most, depending on how you track this, is actually the Chess Rules if they continue into being the Ruby Raptors.
Whoa.
Because the Raptors in season 2 have 4. The Chess Rules in season 1 had Joel, who won 2 games, and Goober, who have now won 6.
Oh.
So that is a combined 10 wins from the Chess Rules / Ruby Raptors over the years. So it depends if you count the Chess Rules as being the Ruby Raptors since they've relocated. But that is very interesting to me. The Llamas are at 9, the Raptors are at 10, and no other team other than that is really particularly close. You've got the Dragons at 7 from that one year, and then you've got the Cuties at 6, the Beavers at 2. No, 3. 3. That's crazy to me. Yeah, I don't know. It's just really interesting to see.
That's wow. That is a crazy stat. I would have never guessed that. That's insane. I mean, yeah, it's interesting. Two different teams, are they the same? People can debate it, but that's
Goober maybe carries, but
yeah, Goober does get a lot of those wins, but can't disregard all those other wins either.
Totally. Now, JD, for this last segment, we're normally going to be doing a weekly setup for the game to come. We did that last episode. However, this week is a bye week.
It is.
Which is interesting. So we kind of get a little bonus segment here.
Ooh.
And we were looking at some Would You Rather questions. And we can answer a few of these that I find. But we were kind of chuckling before we hit record over, would you rather have to eat 300 donuts, so like sure to hurt your tummy and be sad, or 1 plate of your least favorite food? And it's a little subjective. Yeah, we were trying to think, do you know what your, off the dome, what your least favorite food is?
Seriously, I'm thinking about it. I don't dislike a lot of food, but I will say the least favorite thing I like is sour cream. I don't know if that counts as food, But
Bro, me too.
really,
I don't like sour cream either. Yeah, I always take it off of my stuff
I do too.
when
So
I order.
if it was a plate full of sour cream, I don't think
Oh, you're right. It's a plate of your least favorite food, not like your dish that you don't like.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So would I have to eat all 300 donuts at like the same sitting?
I don't know. Yeah, I think so.
If it was the
I
same
think so.
sitting,
You wouldn't be able to leave until you ate all of them.
I think I would have to do the sour cream. I think I don't know.
Plate of it?
I don't think I'd be able to get all of it down without some of it coming back up. But I don't think I'm
It
getting
would
down.
be
300 donuts would take me days, weeks. Like
Yeah,
that would take a
it would
long
take you
time.
days. I think I could eat. I think if I was hurting myself, I could eat 12 donuts an hour. No, that's a lot.
After 4 hours, you're
Well,
gonna be pretty full,
yeah.
Gus.
Yeah, holy cow. I don't know. I think I could eat one. I think I could eat 6 donuts an hour comfortably.
Okay.
For 24 hours, though, how many donuts is that?
24,
That's too much, I think.
24 times 6, that's 144. So you'd have to
That's
do that
not
for,
even half?
No. You have to do that for
I don't
2.5
know.
days, Gus.
I would
Consistently.
probably be there. I think I could do it in 5 days. I think I could do it in 5 days.
You wouldn't want to sit through and eat that sour cream? Couldn't do it?
Well, no. I mean, like, I'm trying to, like, think about the donut
Oh.
side first.
I see.
And then I don't know if mine is sour cream. I think mine is actually my mom when I was a kid. I've got 2 really bad memories of my mom's food.
Okay.
One of them, because she did a whole thing where A, she was a health nut, so she made us eat really healthy. And B, like, she was like, you have to eat all of it. And 2 things I really hated. One of them was like this it's like an eggplant pasta
Oh.
where it was like an entire eggplant spread through this like pasta, and it was really crappy pasta, like that like spiral pasta that
Yeah.
is like no like gluten free and like all these other
Awful.
things and
Disgusting.
awful stuff. So that was really bad, and I threw up, I think, while eating it. While trying to eat it because she made me. The second one, I think, was like she would like fill like a bell pepper, like an entire bell pepper with rice. And I hate bell peppers.
Really?
And she was like, you've got to eat the whole bell pepper. I was like, what? This is literally just like a whole pepper stuffed in with rice. And it wasn't even like good rice. It was like, again, like healthy, crappy rice with like peas in it.
Ew.
And I was like, all right, man. I think I would rather do that than 300 donuts because I don't know if it's possible for me to eat 300 donuts.
I would be very impressed if you could do that, Gus.
I would too. I don't think I can. So I think, unfortunately, it's either so I think maybe my worst dish in mind, like food, would be like maybe a bell pepper stuffed with eggplant pasta would be the worst for me. That would suck pretty bad.
That would be terrible.
Did you have a meal growing up that you were like, oh, this is awful?
I'm
Or
trying
was
to-
your mom nice to you?
I feel like my mom was pretty nice to me. Obviously, back in the day, if I didn't eat it, I couldn't eat anything else. But I think I would just starve myself if I didn't like it. I'm trying to think about it. The only thing like I dislike, and I don't even eat it, but like I've experienced in Missouri State is they'll have tofu here that looks exactly like meat, and it'll trick you. I've been in some tofu, and tofu is disgusting. Tofu is not good. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what
tofu's
you.
pretty bad.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad you agree. Some people like it. I don't
I
know.
agree.
I don't know how you could like that stuff. But if there was like a plate full of tofu, that would also be pretty. I don't know if I could get that down. I have a pretty weak stomach for that type of stuff.
Yeah, tofu. Like things that just have weird textures.
Mhm.
Or,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I'm a very textury guy. Like I love like foods that just feel good. Like people growing up were like, "Oh, I hate Brussels sprouts." That's like a kid thing to not
Yeah.
like. I love like boiled Brussels sprouts that are like soft and you put them in your mouth and they're just
Yeah.
like,
little seasoning
chewy.
on there.
yeah, dude,
They
they were
gotta be
nice
cooked
to
right.
me. I think my grandma just cooked them very well. I loved like I think this might also be unpopular, but like egg salad, I was a big fan
Ooh,
of.
yeah, I
It's
would.
like egg and like mayo and like seasoned very well. And my grandma would make me like an egg salad sandwich. That was pretty good. That I liked growing up.
I would. I That's something I would not be able to eat. I'm not a big. I'm not a.
Dude, what?
No, I'm not. Egg salad is. I don't think I've ever.
Egg, I loved it.
I don't think I've ever had it. That's the thing. The things I don't like,
You would like
I
it.
just don't eat. No, I dislike mayo so much. Mayo, sour cream,
Oh, mayo and sour cream for you?
mayo and sour cream. There's some those condiments. It's more condiments I don't like. Stuff like that. Any condiment that's
Really?
white. Think about cottage cheese, mayo, sour.
You don't like
cream.
cottage cheese?
No,
That's not a condiment, but
that's true.
I love cottage cheese, dude.
No.
If you're watching this and you're like a Board Wars player who's really skinny and unathletic, no offense, like, dude, cottage cheese, non-fat cottage cheese, best like protein to calorie ratio
Wow.
out of like anything out there. When I was really getting big for football, I would live off that stuff, dude. It's actually
Interesting.
crazy. It's a real life
Interesting.
hack.
Wow.
Drew, like one of the best Board Wars players of all time, he's a big fan of tuna, which is also really good. But I
Yeah.
hate tuna, so I couldn't do it. Hate tuna. I'm a big sushi guy, so like I love seafood.
I love sushi.
But I can't eat tuna seafood. I don't like it.
Interesting. The texture or the taste?
The taste, it tastes like super salty to me.
Okay.
And like the texture is also a little bit mushy.
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
a big fan of like salmon sushi, shrimp sushi,
Yeah.
crab even, depending on how they do their crab. Like I like too, but I also don't like sushi in Missouri, dude.
Really?
Missouri sushi will put you in a clinic.
What about like sushi AI? I feel like that's usually my go-to when I get sushi.
No, not really. Like I feel like because I lived in Florida,
Uh-huh.
I had such good options. And I
That's-
think I've been
that's fair.
spoiled. Also, on my honeymoon this year, we went to one of the highest, it was a top 100 restaurant in the United States.
Oh,
It was like a sushi
okay,
restaurant.
fancy.
And I know. Well, we were really excited because I love sushi so much. And they made me like my custom, they were like, what do you like on sushi? And I was like, I like cream cheese, salmon, avocado usually. Like I just gave them a list of things I like and they made me my favorite. It was so good.
Wow.
It was awesome. It was legendary. But I don't know, like I'm looking at these would you rather questions. One of them is would you rather live with one human-sized puppy or one mouse-sized gorilla?
Oh,
And I've immediately got a few questions about that because if it's a mouse-sized gorilla, does it have the strength of a regular gorilla
I was just about to
condensed
ask that.
into a mouse? Or because if it's not, it's almost not even really a question.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
if
I'd prefer the mouse-sized gorilla.
I know, I mean, yeah, it would be like a little gerbil. If it had the strength, though, that's Loki more dangerous than a
That's
big
really
gorilla.
dangerous.
Like
Well,
that,
maybe not because it's slow. Like I could
I guess.
trap him. I could like run away.
But how would you trap it though? If it has the same strength, I don't think anything can trap a.
But like it's slow though. Like as it's crawling across, it's like
but like it could just like
it would take him a
throw.
long time to
Like,
to
it
get
could just
across
like
my house.
pick up the couch and like chuck it at you. Like I don't know. Like how would you?
I guess that's true.
I mean,
That's
I would
true.
rather deal with than it being smaller than being big. But so what was the other one? A dog being
a
human size?
human-sized puppy. So like a puppy.
Oh, a puppy.
Not a dog. Like someone that's running around.
I
But it's
see.
human-sized.
I
Which-
mean, if it was
No
trained,
offense, but is it human-sized Gus or is it
Yeah.
human-sized JD?
that's a good point. Because I mean, there's dogs.
It's a
There's
really
dogs
big
like
difference.
my size almost, like those big. I don't know what they're called, but there's some
but
big
they're not
dogs.
puppies though.
No, true. If it was a trained puppy and it wasn't out to kill me, I think that'd be sick. That'd be sick to have that.
Yeah.
It would be such a cute like puppy, but it wouldn't be small. It'd be huge. So I feel like-
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be fun at times. Feeding it, that'd be a bit. Where it would sleep.
Other question: is it going to grow into an adult-sized dog that's way bigger?
Oh, that's a good question. Like Clifford.
Then you've
like,
got like a Clifford. Yeah, I was just about to say that. Got like a Clifford situation on your hands.
I don't. I mean, he had a lot of fun with Clifford, so I think I'd have to choose the dog. I feel like. I mean, I haven't seen any movie story where a big dog was bad. So
Yeah, I've seen movies where dogs are bad.
True, but
But
are
not.
they human size?
No, they're normal, I think. But so I guess you've got to. But then I'm training the puppy so I can make sure that they're good.
Yeah.
I don't know though. Like training something that's my size would be difficult for me.
True. I mean, is it the size of what you are, or is it like
I'm
a
guessing.
okay?
I'm guessing. Like for you, it'd be you sized.
Okay.
Maybe. For me,
That
it'd be
makes
me
sense.
sized. Training something that's the size of me would be really hard. But I don't know if it would be as lethal as a small gorilla.
I I think a small gorilla is so much more dangerous. I feel like that has like killing capabilities right there, and it's like the size of a gerbil.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's true. The sixth one is very interesting.
Okay.
Would you rather be able to talk to animals or read minds?
Ooh. So here's off the top of my head, reading minds sounds cool, but I don't
It's got
think
more
you.
utility.
Yeah, but I don't know if you want to know what everyone's thinking all the time. I don't know.
I
That's
agree.
a lot. You know, maybe the thing like, oh no, JD, he's having a bad hair day. Like I don't know if I want to be hearing someone saying that.
I don't want to know
I
that.
don't want to know that.
It would be helpful for like gambling or board wars,
Oh,
like
poker.
to know what like Mr. Java's gonna do. But then it would kind of stink because then you're like, I don't know, you can never be surprised, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think
That would be kind of
I think it would
sad.
get pretty sad and boring like real fast. I don't know if you
Yeah.
would. I don't know if you would like that. Talking to animals, though,
Yeah,
that would be sick. Like
it would.
just have your cat next to you, and you're just able to have a conversation with it. Like it's just like it's one of your friends. Like that'd be pretty sick.
Dude, I don't know though. I don't know if I could ever go to a zoo. Like
Oh, that's
some of
interesting.
those animals have sick minds. Like you hear the stories about like the gorilla who like will like kill these other gorillas
Oh my
in
God.
terrible ways in their compounds. Like some of those gorillas I think have too much going on in their head that I don't want to know about. And like if they've been in prison their whole life, I don't know. I don't know if I want to talk to those guys. I feel like it'd be like talking to prisoners like in the state
Yeah.
penitentiary. Like if I could kill you right now, I would. Like, okay, well, have a good day. Like some of those rabbits too, like those cute little rabbits, they're so sadistic, I think.
Mm.
And it's like I wonder if it would ruin like rabbits to me.
Just like ruin
Or
like
like,
perspective you have on them.
oh, cute little squirrels. I hate my neighbor and I ate him yesterday. Like, I don't know. I don't want to know that.
Yeah, I
Really.
guess that's true. I just feel like how I
And like
think that,
Sven is really cute to me,
yeah.
like my cat.
Uh-huh.
But like, I don't know if I really want to know what he's thinking.
True. I
I
guess
don't know.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess if it's good things, I don't know. It depends how much I don't know how much animals are thinking. I don't know how big that brain is up there. So I don't know if there would be too much going
Yeah.
on. But
I think let's set a parameter. Can
Okay.
you choose when you do this, or is this permanently on
Mm.
all the time?
I was thinking it was like permanently on. I don't know, because that's like too confusing.
Because
'Cause
that'd be bad for both.
yeah. If it was on all the time, like what would be like the range of when you could hear it? Like that's I feel like that's a little too confusing.
Yeah,
I feel like you would
that's
have
true.
to choose. I feel like doing it whenever just there's too many like variables that don't make any sense.
If you can choose, then I guess reading minds.
Yeah.
Because that could be very situational, but I could use it to like go win poker or go
Mhm.
go like to the casino, win some stuff, or to like always win rock paper scissors would be cool.
Oh, that's true. That would be very
But then
helpful.
but then I wonder if like I'd fly too close to the sun and then just start reading it for things I didn't need it, like I don't know, like ChatGPT with some people. Like I'm gonna go back to the well and see what you're thinking, and maybe it'll make me lazy. I don't know.
I think it would, or we would start using it too much and start not wanting to hear what you want to hear. So
Start being too self conscious,
yeah,
maybe.
I think that'd be very dangerous if people could do that.
Yeah.
That's like
yeah,
that'd be
I
like
do too.
social media on like steroids. I feel like
Yeah, it really would. Going to parties would be awful.
that would suck.
Like, I don't know, even like waking up next to, my wife and like, I don't want to know if she thinks like my hair looks bad right now or any
Your
of that.
breath
Like,
smells. Yeah, that's.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's interesting how people like, they have the ability to tell you things they want you to know.
Mm-hmm.
But like the ability to know things they don't want you to know could be sometimes for a good reason.
Yeah. No, yeah, I feel like the ability not to know what people are thinking could be very beneficial, I feel like, for your mental state sometimes.
I agree. Well, what would your answer be for that one?
I think if we're saying you can turn it off and on, I think I would choose reading people's minds. 'Cause I feel like I'd be able to use it smart and be able to use it at the right time to benefit me. Mostly probably in gambling and stuff like that. I do a lot of good with that money,
Yeah. I think I agree. Mainly because if I go down the animal path, I might start to like, do these guys have souls? Like,
Yeah.
like, is this like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it would get too existential or like big picture
Mm-hmm.
of like theological questioning or like, I don't know. And I don't really want to subject myself to that.
Yeah, that's too much. That's too much going on. I'd have to agree.
Or on the other side, like maybe they're just so stupid that talking to them wouldn't be cool. Like,
Yeah, I feel
like
that's
unless
more likely. I feel like there can't be that much going on in rabbits' heads.
I think I read somewhere that cats are like the mental age of a 3-year-old,
Oh,
and it's like, okay, so like that could be cool. But like these brain dead animals, like, I want food, like, okay, all right,
Yeah.
man, I get it.
Yeah,
So that'd be a
my
little bit of a
dog.
waste.
That would be a little annoying. Yeah, I think I have to go with the people. I feel like it'd be more interesting.
I think it would too. It's funny to me, one of these questions, I don't think we have time to go into it, but one of these questions is, would you rather be the best player on a losing team or the worst player on a winning team?
Oh, that's.
And I started like drawing Board Wars parallels.
Who would be
So I was like,
quick off the head? Who would the two examples be?
well, I was thinking season 2, so I was thinking Zach. He's not
Okay.
the worst player on the roster right now, but last year he was.
That's fair.
So I was thinking, like, would I rather be Zach or like Hodgepodge season 2? And it's like, okay, I don't know.
Interesting.
I think I'd rather be Hodgepodge.
No, I would like that Lexi Cup personally. If I was,
That's
right
fair.
now, I'm already the worst. I'm already basically rated one of the worst players on my team. So I mean, they go win that Lexi Cup, and they go carry me to it. I would love to be in that spot.
Yeah. That's fair. And then you've got the opportunity to improve
Exactly.
after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. But thank you all for watching episode 2 of the Board Wars official podcast. And, JD, we always let somebody get the last word. That's kind of a Board Wars staple, I think.
It is.
What do you want to let these beautiful people know before they go about their days?
Man, I'd like to say, everyone watching this, I hope you're having a great day. Hope you're locked in for this upcoming season and playoffs. It's going to be a fun one. And if you're still watching it right now, think about those would you rathers and drop your answers in the game chat.
Or the comments down below.
Maybe
Maybe comment on our... Yeah. You heard it here. See you next week.